You may have heard the rumors, seen the headlines, or just had a feeling that something is off. Are the German luxury giants, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, packing up and leaving the United States? It's a narrative that suggests a trade war has sent them running, that their iconic cars are disappearing from our roads. But tonight we're going to tell you what's really going on. Because the truth isn't an exodus. It's a high-stakes battle for survival and dominance. Far from vanishing, these brands are digging in, doubling down, and fighting a completely new kind of war. Not just for the American market, but for the future of the automobile itself. The idea of a sudden dramatic exit is compelling, but the reality is far more complex. This isn't a story about one policy decision. It's about a tangled web of global pressures. The electric vehicle revolution, fierce new competition from American tech giants, and a strategic balancing act between the world's two biggest markets, the US and China. For Germany's engineering titans, the old playbook of just building great cars isn't enough anymore. They're navigating a maze where technology, manufacturing strategy, and shifting global power are all converging. And the choices they make today will define the cars we drive for decades. To get to the bottom of this, we have to clear the air about the trade war. Whispers of a crippling 25% tariff on European cars have fueled the vanishing narrative. But that financial bombshell never actually landed on passenger vehicles. The long-standing U.S. tariff on imported passenger cars is, and remains, just 2.5%. While it's true that U.S. tariff policy has created headaches, the impact has been surgically precise, not a carpet bombing of the industry. For example, Porsche, which imports all of its vehicles, has seen its profits squeezed. The company paid approximately $700 million in U.S. tariff-related costs in 2025, which contributed to a sharp drop in its profit margins. This has forced its leadership to openly discuss the compelling but incredibly expensive idea of finally building cars in the U.S. For Audi, which also has no U.S. factory, the situation is similar. The tariffs have made it harder to justify the massive investment required for a new American plant, even as they feel the financial pain of importing every car they sell here. So it's not a simple story of a tariff landslide. It's a targeted financial pressure that has hit some brands much harder than others, forcing them to rethink decades of strategy. Instead of running away, German automakers are proving America's importance by investing billions to build cars right here. It's a strategy of build where you sell, and it's the exact opposite of an exodus. Let's start with the most stunning example, BMW. Far from being a victim, BMW's plant in Spartanburg, South Carolina is a powerhouse. It's not just a factory, it's the largest BMW plant in the world. In 2025, it was the #1 automotive exporter by value in the entire United States, shipping nearly 200,000 X models worth $9 billion to 120 countries. BMW has invested so heavily here that it's become a cornerstone of American automotive manufacturing. Mercedes-Benz is also digging in its heels. Instead of retreating, the company is launching a massive new model offensive with the goal of hitting over 400,000 U.S. sales annually. Its Tuscaloosa, Alabama plant is central to this plan, building the brand's most popular SUVs, like the GLE, right on American soil. This isn't a company that's vanishing. It's one that's fighting to reclaim the luxury sales crown in America. The Volkswagen Group, which includes Audi and Porsche, has a more complex situation, but is still deeply rooted here. Its plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee builds some of its most important U.S. models, like the Atlas SUV and the all-electric ID.4. This American manufacturing base gives VW a crucial shield against import issues. While the lack of a U.S. plant puts Audi and Porsche in a tougher spot, the parent company is actively exploring ways to build more cars in North America to serve this vital market. Now, what about the pivot to China? The original narrative suggests German brands are abandoning the U.S. for the massive Chinese market. But the reality is much more complicated, And in many ways, the opposite is happening. For years, China was a guaranteed cash cow. Not anymore. In 2025, German luxury brands saw their sales in China fall significantly. Mercedes-Benz sales plunged by 19% and BMW's by 12.5%. The reason? Fierce competition from homegrown Chinese EV companies. This isn't a market they are pivoting to for safety. It's a market where they are now fighting for survival. This struggle in China actually makes the stable, profitable American market more critical, not less. However, the German brands have learned a hard lesson in China. You can't just sell German-engineered cars anymore. To compete, they have to collaborate. Volkswagen has partnered with Chinese EV maker XPeng to co-develop cars in China, for China, using their technology. This is a strategic necessity to stay relevant there, not a sign of abandoning other markets. It shows that in today's world, automakers have to tailor their technology and products to specific regions. The trade frictions are not the main event. The real war is the race to dominate the electric vehicle market. And here the challenge for German brands isn't about tariffs, it's about technology and competition. German automakers were admittedly slow to embrace the all-electric future, and now they are playing catch-up. In the US, they face the formidable dominance of Tesla. In China, they are battling a flood of innovative local EV startups. While the US EV market share was estimated to be around 10% in 2025, China's was over 50%, showing just how fast the global landscape is shifting. But falling behind is not the same as giving up. German brands are fighting back on American soil. Volkswagen is already producing the all-electric ID.4 SUV in Chattanooga, Tennessee. BMW's Spartanburg plant is gearing up to build multiple new all-electric models by 2030. This isn't about being pushed out of the EV market. It's about a massive industrial shift to build the next generation of electric cars right here in America. The competition is intense, but the German giants are investing heavily to prove they can win the electric future. So, are German luxury cars vanishing from America? Absolutely not. The story isn't one of retreat, but of profound adaptation. Faced with a fiercely competitive global market, these iconic brands are not running away from America. They are running deeper into it. They are investing billions in U.S. factories, building their most popular models here, and gearing up to produce the next generation of electric vehicles on American soil. The challenges are real. Profits are being squeezed by global headwinds. The competition in China is brutal, and the race to catch up in the EV market is a marathon. But this has only reinforced how vital the American market is. The cars on dealer lots aren't vanishing, but the strategies behind them are being reinvented before our very eyes. The real story isn't about an exodus. It's about a high-stakes fight for the future, and it's happening right here. This is a massive strategic shift with consequences for car buyers and the industry. Do you think building more cars in America will make German brands stronger here? Can they catch up to Tesla in the EV race? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this analysis insightful, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the forces reshaping our world.